Hi everyone, Nicholas This here from sunny Cyprus, and welcome to today's tutorial where we're solving the IGCSE ICT May-June 2025 variation paper 2-1. Now this is a hefty paper. This is the first of 3 tutorials for this paper. In this particular one, I'm solving tasks 1 and 2, which is the evidence document and the word processing component. And in the timestamps in the description of this video, you can find the links to the other 2 tutorials which cover the databases component and the presentation and chart components. And of course, you can find the timestamps to jump to particular points of interest in this tutorial or the other tutorials. Now, as I said, this is a really demanding paper, but it's an excellent paper to help you prepare for the exams, or the IGCSE exams, or if you've got internal school exams, because you have to demonstrate a lot of skills, but at the same time, you have to have good time management. So saying that, let's get started with this tutorial and start with the evidence document and the word processing. Okay, so first step as always is to have a look at the question paper. So let's scroll down, and the first part of this paper basically says, make sure you've got all the resource file for this examination. And now, I've had a couple of questions from students in the channel, some posts, where they've been saving their work, and when they go to open their work, it's not saved. And after a few posts backwards and forwards and a few messages, I realized that they were actually working directly from the zip file. Now, you cannot work from the zip file. So they were just double clicking on a zip file because they downloaded the resource files from the internet, and they were opening files from here. The problem is when you go to save a file afterwards, it can't save it in the zip file. It saves it in a different location. So they don't know where their files are, and when they go to a zip file, their work is not there. So rule number 1, I thought I'll reiterate this today. You need to right click if you've got a zip file. I'm going to extract all. I'm just going to click on extract. There's my folder with all my files. So I'm going to delete that zip file now. I don't need it. All my files are in here. And in fact, I'm just going to move these out to my parent folder by Control-X cut and put them there. Now my files are available for me in the folder directly without being in a zip file. And this is extremely, extremely important. All right, next step, we're going to just double check that all the files that I've got here. This one here is just the electronic version of the question paper. You won't have that. And there you go. There are the resource files. And these are the same files that I've been told to check I've got here. So that's the first part. Task 1, we're going to create the evidence document. It says we're going to open the J2521 evidence.rtf. We need to make sure our name, center number, and candidate number will appear on every page of this document. Save this document in your work area as evidence, followed by your candidate number, for example, that. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to jump over here. I'm going to go find the J2521 evidence. It's right there. So I'm going to double click on this to open it. Just maximize it. And I'm simply going to, it doesn't tell me where to put my details. So I'm simply going to double click in the header. I'm going to add my details here. And now I'm just going to double click inside the body of my document. So just double click in here. There's my header up there. That will ensure my details are on every page. I'm going to go to File, Save As. Now this here, it says it's going to be a rich text format. I don't want that. So I need to save it as a Word document, that docx there. And I'm going to change the name to evidence, capital letters, and my candidate number like that. Okay, click on save. Great. Let's go back to the question paper. So I've done that. It says you're going to need your evidence document during the examination process to place screenshots when required. Great. Let's go to task 2. You're going to edit a document about exams. The school uses a corporate house style for all its documents. Paragraph styles must be created and applied as instructed. Using a suitable software package, open the file, that one there. The page setup is set to A4 landscape orientation, 2.5 centimeter margins. Do not make any changes to these settings. 3 paragraph styles have already been created. Do not make any changes to these. And then it says, save the document in your work area with the file name exam guide. Make sure it is saved in the format of the software you're using. Place your evidence document and the screenshot to show the file has been saved. Make sure there is evidence of the file type. Okay, let's jump over to our screen over here. So I'm going to go and open the file J2521 exam info. J2521 exam info. Here it is here. And I need to save this as a document called exam guide. So I'm going to save that now. File, save as. And we're going to call that exactly as it is. Capital E, exam, capital G, guide. Remember, you have to write everything exactly as it's given to you and make sure to save it as a docx. Click on save. It says that everything, it's been set up A4 2.5 centimeter margin. So let's just go and check that quickly. So from here, I'm going to go to my layout. I'm going to go to my page setup. I'm going to click on here to see the dialog box. I can see my margins 2.5 centimeters landscape, and the paper here is A4 already set up for me. So that's perfect. And it's good to have a quick check just in case something is wrong. And if it is, make sure you raise your hand and just let your teacher know. Okay, so now I need to put evidence of my file type. So if I go to my file type here it is here. I should have my docx. Here it is. And I need to show evidence of the extension file type as well. So I'm just going to expand these as well. Now, if your computer is actually showing the extensions, that's absolutely fine. You can, if it's not showing the extensions, you can enable them, but it may be that you can't. So the best solution is if you go to View, Details pane, right click on any one of these headings up here, go to More, and then scroll down to go to File Extension. And this is where you can find all the little bits of information and different fields about the files that you've got in the folder you're viewing. You can see how I've got file extension. If I click on that and click OK, you can see now it's added the file extension. So although it's got the file extension here at the end of the name in my computer, it's also got a new column here for file extension. So I'm just going to take a screenshot of that, show all the files like so. And again, I know, do not print using dark mode or screenshots in dark mode. All right, so there it is there. I'm not going to make this small because I want the examiner to be able to see my file really easily and quickly. So, you know, just, it doesn't matter. It's for the exam. You can print on more pages. That's absolutely fine, but don't go crazy with the size. Okay, and my file there can be seen. Where is it? Exam guide. There it is. Exam guide docx right there. Perfect. So quick save, file, save of my evidence document. Scroll down. Number 2. Place in the exam guide document a center-aligned header with automated page numbers. Okay. A right-aligned footer on a single line with the text produced by, followed by space in your name, center number, and candidate number. Make sure that all the alignments match the page margins. No other text or placeholders included in the header or footer areas. Headers and footers are displayed on all pages. All right, so let's go do that quickly now. So usually I would normally say just double click in the header section, and then from there you can go start adding your page number. For example, go to top of page and choose center. But I decided today to show you the different method where you can solve all the alignment issues. So the easiest, I would say one of the easiest ways is going to be just go to insert, go to header, and then from here choose the one which has got the 3 alignment tabs at the top. So this will allow you to add anything left aligned, center aligned, and right aligned. So particularly here, it wants us to insert the page number. So from here, as I am already in the header section, I can just go to page number. From here, current position, and just click on that. Now, these two here known as placeholders. If I don't need to put anything on the left or the right, then I need to delete this. And this is what it said in the question paper. Make sure there are no other components in the header or the footer section. So I'm just going to select that, delete, select that, delete. And this just makes it easier to make sure you insert something in the right place. Now, it says right aligned footer on a single line with the text produced by. So I'm going to go to the footer. So if I double click now in my document, then go again to my insert, and this time footer. Again, I can choose the one with the 3 tabs. This now wants to be right aligned, so I can just click on the right aligned one, and I'm going to say produced by : followed by a space, name, center number, candidate number. Okay, and again, since I don't need any other objects in the left or the center of the head of the footer, I'm just going to select these and delete. So this makes it super easy to create your headers and footers and put the alignment correctly. Let's go double click in our document. Great, and everything is there now. Okay, so if we go back to our question paper now. So we've made sure alignments match the page margins. Yes, no other placeholders. We deleted them, and yep, everything displayed on every page. Number 3, select the subheading general and the following text up to and including the paragraph ending the evidence provided. Change the page layout so that only this text is displayed in 2 columns of equal width with a 2 centimeter space between the columns. Okay, so from here, I'm going to go find, I can see straight away the subheading here, general. Now I want to find the paragraph that ends the evidence provided. So I'm just going to press Control F on my keyboard, and I'm just going to search for that. Evidence provide. There it is there, highlighted here. So easy way to select now. I'm just going to select a little bit of this, let go by clicking and dragging, scroll all the way up and hold the Shift button on my keyboard and click here. Or you can do the classic click and drag. That's up to you. Any way that you can to select all of the text from those 2 points. So I'm just going to close my search on my navigation pane there. There we go. I've selected that. And the next step is I'm going to go to Layout, Columns in the Layout ribbon, expand it, go to More Columns. From here I want 2 columns, and it says it wants a 2 centimeter space. So here's my spacing. I'm just going to click on that and increase it to 2 centimeters. Now, some of you write messages or send me comments asking questions. My computer is displaying in inches. What shall I do? I don't know how to put 2 centimeters. Well, that's okay. You can simply, even if it displays in inches, type 2 cm, and then when you click away, it will be fine. It will do 2 centimeters. So if I wanted 2 inches, for example, I could do 2 and put the symbol for inches, and then when I click away, you can see it automatically changes it to the equivalent in centimeters. So if your device is set up in inches and you put 2 centimeters, it will put the equivalent of 2 centimeters, but it will display in inches. So that's fine. I'm just going to change my one to 2 cm. Good. There we go. I pressed enter and I've got my 2 columns and I've got 2 centimeter gap in between. Now, a good point always to do is if you go to the view section, make sure you've got the ruler selected here. So you've got the ruler, and that gives you this ruler right here at the top. And can you see, I can see very clearly that here's my margin. I've got 2 centimeters there. That's nice and clear. Perfect. Number 4, apply a bulleted list to the text from mobile phones to enhanced electronic devices. The bullets are indented 2.5 centimeters from the left margin. The list is in single line spacing, so 2.5 centimeters, single line spacing with no space before or after each line, and there is a 6-point space after the last item. Okay. So let's go find where the list is. So I'm looking where the list starts from mobile phones. And this should be quite easy to do, but there it is there. There's the list. So from here, I'm going to select my list as so, up to there. And now I'm just going to apply bullets. It doesn't tell me what bullets to put. I can put any bullets I want. So I'm just going to go to Home. And here I've got my bullets button at the top. I'm going to click on that. And there are my bullets. Quick and easy. Now, I need to ensure, and if we look at my ruler at the top, this is approximately, my bullets are around about 0.5 centimeter in from the left margin. We can see that there. I want this to be at least 2.5. I need the spacing for my items here to be single line spacing. So with my bullet selected, I'm going to click on the paragraph. So from the Home ribbon up here, expand here, go to the paragraph dialog box. From here, we want a left indentation of 2 centimeters. Again, if you're in inches, it doesn't matter. Just type 2 cm, like so, if you want. And then when you click away, it will automatically change it to the equivalent of 2 centimeters 2 inches. Line spacing, I want single, and before and after, I want 0 points. That's what it said. So click on OK. And there we go. We can see now that my list here is around about 2.5. It's on 2.5 centimeters. Single line spacing, and the final thing that I need, I want a 6-point gap between these two lines here. So 6 points after my list. So there's two ways of doing this. I can either select the last line or click in the last line of the list, go to my paragraph and choose after 6 points. Can you see it's made that 6-point gap there? Or I could simply click anywhere in this paragraph here and simply go to the paragraph and put a 6-point before. It doesn't matter. As long as there is this little gap here between the list and the next paragraph. Let's do a quick save. File, save, just to make sure what I've done is saved, and go to the question paper. Locate the table in the document, delete the entire row and contents of the subject business unit 1. Okay, let's go to number 5. So let's go find my table. There it is there. And here is business 1. Great. That line there, we can see it. So if I want to delete it, I can just right click anywhere in this row. It doesn't matter where. From here, you should be able to see delete cells. And I want to delete the entire row. Click on that, click OK. And there it is. That entire row has now vanished. Let's go and see what the next question says. Okay, sort all the data in the table from Maths Paper 1 to Combined Science Paper 3 into ascending order of exam date with the data integrity maintained. Okay, so essentially what that means is we need to sort this table, all of this table from Maths Paper 1 all the way down to here, based on the exam date in ascending order. So based on this column here only. Now, when it says maintaining the data integrity, it means you don't just sort this column. If you just sort this column, then it's not going to match the other columns. When you sort the table, you have to sort all of the table, all of the rows based on this column. Now, Word will do that for you, but you need to double check. So I'm just going to see here, Maths Paper 1 is on the 16th of May 2025. And I'm just going to make a mental note of that so that I can double check when I do my sort. So an easy way to do is to simply select your data from here. It's always good to select the heading as well. Go to your table layout at the top. So when you're in the table, you've got the table design and the table layout. And in the layout, you will see you've got the sort button here. Click on this and you get the dialog box. Now, at the bottom, it says, my list has header rows. I'm going to select yes, because though I selected the headings of these columns to make it easier for me to select the right one to sort. So by doing that, if I go to sort by, it's actually got the word exam date. So I want to sort by exam date. Automatically, it sees the type of data in that column, and it's a date field, and I want it in ascending. So I'm going to click on OK. And there we go. And I'm just going to double check that Maths 1, here it is on the 16th of May. So you can see I have maintained the data integrity of this table, but I have sorted in ascending order of exam date. Okay, let's move on. So that was 6. Number 7, apply to the table a 0.5 point grid lines to all cells, 3 to 4 point external black borders so that these are displayed when the table is printed. Okay, so to do this, I'm going to click anywhere in the table, and I'm going to click, after I do that, you're going to see this little cross in the little top left corner of my table there. So if I click on that, that's going to select my table. Now, again, because I've got my table selected, I've got my 2 ribbons, the table design and the table layout at the top. So if you don't know where something is, just have a look in these 2 here that it opens up. But this is going to be in the design. And you can see up here, you've got borders. Now, I'm going to click on the little down arrow, and I'm going to go to borders and shading. This opens a dialog box for me. So I want a 0.5 point grid line for all the cells inside and 3 to 4 on the outside. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to choose my basic line here. This is 0.5, which is half a point. And I'm just going to click in the middle lines there. Okay, because I want the outside borders to be 3 to 4 points. Now I'm going to change the line to a 3 to 4 point line, let's say 3 points, and I'm going to click on the outside. So now I've got 3-point border on the outside and 0.5 borders on the inside. Now, if you mess this up, you can just carry on clicking around until you get it correct and get the correct widths for the correct borders. Once you've done that, click on OK. And there we go. I've got a thick border on the outside and a 0.5 point border on the inside. Okay, number 8, format the first row of the table so that it becomes a single cell. That means merge the cells of the first row. The text in the cell is centered vertically and horizontally. So I want center and vertical. It has a light gray 20 to 40% background fill. Okay. So first step is I'm going to select this first row. Now, some students, they get mixed up and they think the first row is this one because this one is like in the top left cell. This is the first row of the table. So I'm going to select that, and there's a number of ways that you can do this again. You can either go to your layout and click on merge cells, or you can right click here and you should be able to merge cells from here. So it's entirely up to you how you do this. So there you go, that there is merged. Now we can see that my heading in this merge cell is top and left aligned. Now again, from the layout, I can move this center aligned horizontally like this. And then I also want it center aligned vertically. So I want my subject to be in the middle of this, of the height of the cell. So again, up here, I can click on this one, center, and that will put my title there. Okay, finally, for the internal shading of this cell here. So this is just for the first row. I'm going to go to my table design. I'm going to go to shading. And as I choose my gray color here, I leave my mouse on top. It shows you the percentage. This is 25% darker, it says. I want between 20 and 40. So I can use that one. That's 35. I can use that one as well. So I'm just going to go with the slightly lighter one. That one there. Apply the EX table style to rows 2 to 12 only. So 2 to 12 should be these ones here, but let's count them. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. So if that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Correct. So I want to apply the EX table to these ones here, not the first one. Go to home, and I should have, there it is, my EX table I want, not title. So I'm going to click on this one here to see my styles, and there's my EX table. So if I click on that, there you go. It's now applied that style, which was already given to me. Number 10, format the table so that all text in each row displays on one line. Okay. The table borders and all data fit within the column width. There is a 6-point space after the table. Okay, so first of all, I can see that this one here, the first one, combined science paper, is actually on 2 lines. I need to expand this column. So I'm just going to move my mouse on that border, that vertical border there, click, just drag slowly until it, there you go, it's popped it there. Can you see? Oh, I've undone that. Let's do it again. There you go. It's popped into place. Now, everything now is on one line. Perfect. And if I wanted a little bit more space because it's come out of the, can you see here? Let's close that. We can see that my margin of my column is here where my cursor is, but my table is a little bit further away there. I don't want that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this column session because I've got a bit of extra space. I'm just going to drag that and bring that in. And now I can bring this table border and bring, there we go. Now that fits perfectly within the column widths of that column. Perfect. Let's just do a quick save. File, save. Okay, so now we go to question 11. Create and store the following style, basing it on the default normal paragraph style. Okay, these are the details. So I want that title, EX subhead, sans serif font, 18 point, center aligned, bold and underlined, single and 0 spacing before and after. Take a screenshot to show that you have defined the settings. So I'm going to need a screenshot. I hope I've remembered to do the screenshot. Make sure there is evidence that you've based this on the default normal paragraph style. Okay, so what I'm going to do next is that let's go create the style. So from here, in my home ribbon, I'm going to go to my styles section here, click on the little arrow in the bottom right corner to open the dialog box. And there we go. Here are my styles. I'm going to create a new style. Now, mistake. Let me correct myself here. Let's do it again. I'm first going to go all the way to the top and I'm going to place my insertion point at the beginning, right where this heading is here. And I can see this has got the EX title there. Why? It's important to know where your cursor is before you create a style, because after you create the style, it's going to apply the style to the paragraph where your insertion point is in, and that's going to mess up your document. So before you create a style, place your cursor somewhere where you know exactly what it looks like. For example, if I click here in this paragraph, it's using the EX body. I'm going to make a note of that. But for me, I always do this. I go to the very beginning, and this first line here is using the EX title. So I'm just going to make a mental note of that. Now I'm going to create my new paragraph, my new style. Can you see automatically, because my insertion point is here, where at the beginning of the title, which is using the EX title style, it's saying style based on EX title. I don't want that. I want it on normal, because it should be based on the default normal style. I don't want to import the styles from the EX title. That's the first thing. The second thing is, let's write the title. It has to be exactly the same as it's given to you. Capital letters, small letters. Now, font style sans serif. Sans serif is an Arial font, not Times New Roman. I'll show you what the serifs are when I go to the document. So from here, I need to make sure I've got Arial. You can use any other sans serif font. That's absolutely fine. There's no issue there. I'm just going to use Arial. But the ones which are used to create the exams are the two fonts, sans serif Arial and serif Times New Roman. So this is what the examiner is going to be expecting to see in most cases. I want the size to be 18, bold and italic, center aligned, single line spacing. So for this, I need to go to the format, paragraph. Single line spacing is there. And I want 0 before and 0 after. Click on OK. Now, I can't use this for my screenshot yet because it still has up here the word create new style, which means I haven't created it yet. So I just have to click on OK first. But look what happens as soon as I click on OK. Look at my title here. As soon as I click on OK, it changed it. Why? It changed it to, you can see here, to the EX subhead, the one that I just created. I don't want that. So because I made a mental note and I know that this was the EX title, I'm just going to change that back. Okay. So in my styles manager, I can now see all of my styles. And here is the one that I just made, the EX subhead. Perfect. So from here now, to take my screenshot, I'm going to click on the little arrow. Be careful, because if I click on this, it's going to apply it to that title and I need to put it back again. Okay, so don't change the styles unless it tells you. I'm going to click on the little arrow. I'm going to go to modify. And now here it says modify style. This means that the style has been created and now I'm modifying it. I can take a screenshot. Now in the screenshot, the way the examiner will see that you've done what you've done correctly is this. Let me just open that. So they're looking at this section here. At the top, they're looking here for the sans serif font, the size, bold, italic. Here is the single line spacing, center aligned. At the bottom, they're looking here. Again, everything here, center space, 0 points after. Okay, after 0 point, no Widow's Orphan control, showing the start based on normal. Okay, and it also says up here style based on normal. This is where the marks are. Okay, so I'm just going to take this screenshot and place that in my evidence document. I need to first of all close that dialog box so I can open this window, scroll down and place that there. There we go. Now that's a bit big. I can make that a bit smaller, but not too small. And I'm just going to move the rest of this down so that the titles that they gave me are together with my screenshots. I've created my style, haven't applied it. It says identify the 4 subheadings in the document and apply the EX subhead style to each one. Okay, so I just need to go find, here's the first one, the first subheading. I want EX subhead. Here's another one, that's 2, 3. Here it is, examine. Look, look at that. That was a difficult one, wasn't it? So we can see I had, there you go. That's just moved that down. But I can also see here, I've got like a widow here, a widow orphan. You can see this is just the first line of this paragraph. That shouldn't be there, but we'll look at that in a second. Okay, so let's go back. So that's number 12, 13. In the last paragraph, locate the text results nomination form. Format this text so that when clicked, it opens the document with the file name that. So that's probably my resources. Take screenshot evidence showing the text results nomination form links to the correct file. Place this in your evidence document. Make sure that the file name is fully visible. Okay, so I need to go in the last paragraph, locate that and create the link. So here's the last paragraph. I'm looking for results nomination form. Ah, there it is. Let's just close that. Results. It says click the. There it is, results nomination form. So I need to make this a hyperlink. So to make this a hyperlink, very easy. I could just select it, always select and do, right click. And here it's got link. Now you get this nice little dialog box here. It says, do you want to link to an existing file or web page, a place in this document, an email address, so on and so forth. So if they wanted it as an email address, you would choose this one. Place in the document, this one. I want an existing file. And it wants J2521 results. Now, because my document is saved in the same folder with all my other files, then it opens that folder directly, and I can find everything from here. So there it is, J2521 results. Now, I can't use this as a screenshot yet because it says insert hyperlink. So I'm going to click on OK. There is my link now. You can see it's highlighted in blue. Now, to take the screenshot, I'm going to do this. I'm going to right click on this, edit the hyperlink, put this here so it's together or next to it or on top of that link there. And now I'm going to take a screenshot to show that for that hyperlink, which is underlined there, it's going to the existing file J2521 results evidence, and here it is. The text to display is results nomination form, which is that text there. So that's what the examiners are looking for there. I'm going to go to my evidence document. Oh, I need to close the dialog box. Forgot. Click on OK. Evidence document and go to evidence 13 and place that there. Again, that's a little bit big. As I said, better big than small. There you go. That's good enough and very easy for them to read. Okay, so 14 says spell check and proofread the document. Make sure that the list and table are not split over columns or pages. There are no widows or orphans. I did actually see a widow orphan there. So we'll look at that in a second. There are no blank pages. The original styles are maintained. Spacing is consistent between all items. Save the document. Okay, and then print the document. So let's go and have a look at our document. So the first thing I'm going to do is just check things like this. And now for this, I like zooming out just to make sure, like even this is a perfect view for me because I can see the whole document now and I can see things like if the spacing is consistent. For example, if I had too much spacing here like that, I will be able to see that clearly from this view. So I'm just going to undo that. And everything looks good. Now I have noticed here, I do have this line here, which is separated from its paragraph up here. That's a widow and an orphan. That's not really good. So we're going to fix that in a second. Everything else does, however, look good. My table is not split. My list is not split across columns or pages. So perfect. Let's go deal with this widow and orphan. Now, there are two ways you can do this. It's really hard sometimes to remember where everything is. Okay, so there is a widow orphan control in Word, but you know, you just have to remember where it is. Now, by doing past papers, you kind of like, and you practice this every single time, then it will become second nature. But one quick method is this. I want this line to join this paragraph. I can't bring this paragraph down here. There's not enough page. So I'm just going to click at the beginning of that paragraph and press enter. That's going to bring that line down. So it goes and joins the rest of the paragraph. And now I'm going to zoom out and make sure that hasn't changed anything else in my document. And it hasn't. And if it did, I will have to fix it. The other way to do this if you want is this. So I'm just going to undo that. There's my line back here now. You can press Control A to select your entire text. So Control A or click and drag the whole text. Now, in the paragraph dialog box here, so from the home menu paragraph, where we do our indents and spacing, all of that, you've got this thing here, line and page breaks. So because I've got my entire document selected, here I've got the widow orphan control. Now these little lines mean that some of my document is using widow orphan control, some of it is not, and because I've selected the whole document, it can't put a tick or a no tick. Same with the other options. Now I want the whole document to have widow orphan control, so if I click on that to make it a tick, as soon as I click OK, it will automatically fix any widows and orphans. So if I click on OK now, you're going to see that line down here at the bottom should get fixed. Click OK. There you go. Now what it's done, exactly the same as before, just by when I clicked and moved it down, you can see it's moved it here. So the result is exactly the same. There is no difference. Again, you're going to zoom out and just have a look at your document and make sure it looks good. This is critical. This is 1 mark. Okay, so there's no point losing a mark for something which requires no skill, just you to look at it. Okay, with that done, I can simply go to File, Print. I can use my Adobe PDF printer. Again, before you print, have a look at the print preview. Make sure what you're printing is exactly what you want. Click on Print, and then you should be done, I think. Yep, we're going to databases next. So that word processing exercise was not really a difficult one. I did give you some tips and tricks there, which are great. If you learn them, they're going to make your life so much easier. But there wasn't really that much there. It did have things more based on tables. It didn't have any images for you to bring in. Yeah, that wasn't a bad paper. That was kind of straightforward. So yeah, if you learned something new, you like this video, you know the drill, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, and make sure you go to the description of this video so you can go see part 2, which is databases. You could also find the link for part 3, which is the presentation and chart as well. So till the next one, me, Nicholas Barfidis from sunny Cyprus. Bye-bye.